Sam, a young girl with cancer, spends her last days with her cat Frodo in a clinic near the city. At a meeting of a support group for the terminally ill, she reads a poem, after which Nurse Ruby invites her into town to see a play and eat pizza with her group. Dressed and taking with her cat and her favorite player, the girl takes the bus to the theater. In the auditorium, a family sits in front of Sam. Their son turns around, attracted by the attention of her cat. However, the puppet shows are not very much to Sam's liking. Sam leaves the theater with her cat and plunges into the street hustle and bustle. The girl goes to the store to buy a chocolate bar. When she returns, Ruby gives her unpleasant news. She will have to return to the clinic. She is unhappy that the promised pizza has been canceled. While the other patients return to their seats, Sam gets on the bus. The bus stops and the passengers stare at something outside. A frightened girl joins them. Outside, the sky is torn apart by meteorites falling from space. One of them falls onto a nearby road, raising a cloud of dust and blows out the windows with a shockwave. Stunned, Sam gets off the bus and looks around, but sees almost nothing in the dust cloud, but the same confused people being dragged into the unknown. Hiding behind the car, the frightened girl sees in the fog an inhuman silhouette attacking people. She runs away in terror, but is soon knocked unconscious by an explosion. Coming to her senses, Sam tries to cough, but a man from the theater named Henry covers her mouth and gestures for silence. Looking around, the girl realizes that she is in the theater with the other survivors. They are all observing a solemn silence, and Ruby is among them. He hugs Sam and hands her the rescued Frodo. Soon the survivors hear a helicopter fly by outside. From there, an announcement is made that they are to stay in cover and be quiet until the authorities rescue everyone. There is a loud crashing sound. At that moment, Cat breaks free and runs away. Sam runs after her but stops in a room littered with corpses. Suspicious footsteps are heard outside, and someone's silhouette is seen outside the window. Kitty realizes that he will be better off with his mistress, and Frodo runs to her, but on the way he catches the bells. Sam manages to grab the kitty and hide when the door is broken down by a creepy alien. Blind but responsive to sound, the monster turns over corpses next to Ruby lying on the floor, who has followed Sam. Hearing the roar of an engine outside, the monster runs outside. A swarm of aliens can be seen through a gap in the door that flew out. Back to safety, Sam washes the dust off her face in the bathroom. Later, in one of the rooms, she finds a radio operator listening to the signal and writing down the coordinates of the evacuation point and advice not to use the bridges. Sam looks at a globe that shows where the aliens have landed. They have landed in many places on the planet. When there is a rumbling sound outside, curious people, including Sam, climb to the roof. From there, they get a spectacular view of the burning city. In addition, the Allied Air Force is blowing up bridges to keep the monsters out of Manhattan. The mesmerizing panorama causes one of the men to become hysterical. Despite requests for him to shut up, he continues to talk. Henry tries to silence him, but in doing so, he slams his head hard against the wall and the man dies. They return to the safety of the basement. Sam is sitting with Ruby. Suddenly, the power goes out and the emergency generator kicks in. While it is running, there is a loud noise and Ruby quickly turns it off, but it is too late. The monster hears the noise and attacks him, killing him in front of Sam. Disappointed by the illness and death of her friend, the girl rises from the basement and goes outside. The neighborhood is full of chaos and destruction. Sam walks into a store with broken window glass and picks up necessities, flashlights, and canned goods. She puts everything in her bag and walks further down the apocalyptic street with her faithful Frodo. When they reach a park with a fountain, she quietly opens the canned goods under the cover of splashing water to feed the kitty. The girl notices children hiding in the fountain and shares a chocolate bar with them. A helicopter flies overhead and makes an announcement. Since the aliens cannot swim, the evacuation of the survivors takes place on boats. Taking the children with her, Sam heads for the harbor while the noise of the helicopter distracts the monsters. On the way, she is nearly knocked over by a fallen balcony, which attracts the attention of an alien monster. After waiting for the monster to leave, the girl and the kids head off to the rescue. Along with them, other survivors move in. As they get closer to the harbor, their numbers increase. The children head out with the crowd and Sam starts walking in the other direction. In the face of impending death, the girl wants to try the promised pizza. The quiet footsteps, the squeak of wheels, suitcases, and carts combined with the sheer number of people become background noise. It becomes loud enough to attract the attention of the monsters. The crowd scatters in panic and Sam falls, injuring his cat. In the resulting panic, Sam carefully flees to avoid being trampled. Sam runs down the street in a panic and into an alley. Frodo, meanwhile, playfully decides to chase the rats. She stops for for a drink at the entrance to the flooded subway, from which Eric appears. The first thing the man sees is the cat's face. Eric follows the cat into the alley where Sam is sitting. The man follows the girl until it starts to rain. He uses the noise of the rain as a cover. Sam tells Eric that he should go to the harbor. There, the authorities are conducting an evacuation operation, but the shocked man prefers to stay with her. On the way, Sam tries to find painkillers in the apartment. They arrive at the apartment after dark. The girl has lost her keys and asks Eric to break the door. The guy manages to do it from the second time. During the conversation in the apartment, Sam learns that Eric is a law student. The guy realizes that Sam is a famous poet. He reads her poetry collection to her, and the girl decides to take advantage of the bad weather to scream without the risk of being heard or killed. Eric does the same, and they start yelling loudly together. In the morning, she wakes up from a nightmare. Sam quietly leaves with Frodo. While Eric sleeps, she wanders the deserted streets, enjoying the silence and solitude. Perusing a book near a stall, the girl notices a cat looking at something behind her back. Slowly turning around, a shocked Sam looks at Eric. The man has found her again. He brings the girl a notebook. Sam feels weak and leans on the tray, knocking over a few books. They freeze in fear that the alien monsters are about to come running. The couple decides there's no point in waiting for guests and run away. They try to hide in a neighboring building, but are thwarted by a revolving door and suitcases. Eric manages to break through the door. Pressure causes the suitcase to fall and make a noise. The aliens immediately react to the sound, and the guys start running away quickly. Sam and Eric run through the building surrounded by monsters. Only after running outside do they manage to confuse their pursuers by breaking the window of a parked car. An alarm sounds, distracting the monsters. Pair descend into the subway. With flashlights, they make it to the other side and approach the stairs, from which the aliens have already descended. The guys are forced to backtrack and find a way around the partially flooded railroad tunnel. They move forward knee-deep in water. The boys hear the roar of the monsters. Eric picks up a flashlight and they observe a hole in the ceiling through which a blind alien peers out. A strong stream of water hides the footsteps but brings new trouble. The water rises higher and higher. Eric has a panic attack and Sam has to calm him down with whispers at the risk of attracting unwanted attention. As they begin to swim downstream, the monster crawls across the ceiling in pursuit. There's too much water and the alien drowns before it can catch up with them. Sam and Eric cling to a rock near the hole and climb out. They find themselves in the middle of an old church with a broken roof. Apparently a meteorite fell in it and monsters crawled out of it. Without her meds, Sam gets worse. After finding out what medication she needs, Eric gives her a break and goes outside himself. He finds a pharmacy, looking for the right medicine. As he turns away from the counter, Frodo the cat appears. Having found the medicine, the guy returns to the church with the kitty, but on the way the cat decides to distract him by running away to see what is happening at the neighboring construction site. Eric has to crawl after him. The guy climbs over the fence and notices that the construction site is inhabited not by cats, by aliens with their eggs scattered everywhere. Eric climbs up the beam behind Frodo, trying not to make any noise. The alien creatures are tearing their own eggs off for a snack. This is what the food that came with them looks like. However, they are not averse to eating earthlings. After taking the cat, Eric returned to the church to Sam, and there he gave her a painkiller, after which the girl gets better. She told the guy that her father was a jazz pianist, and that after the performance she ate pizza at Patsy's Pizzeria. That's where Sam wanted to go to remember the happy days before she died. In the morning, the survivors continue walking through the deserted streets. Sam is disappointed when they reach the pizzeria. The establishment burned down during the events of last night. Trying to cheer her up, Eric takes her to the jazz club where her father once performed. Leaving Sam there, the guy leaves. The girl plugs the player into the speaker and puts her fingers on the piano keys, doesn't dare to press them so as not to attract the aliens. Eric comes back with a pizza he found in another pizzeria that was unharmed. They eat it and start dancing, and even Frodo eats a slice of pizza. Going out on the balcony, the girl notices a boat with evacuated people floating on the river. The monsters just stand there, as they can't swim and are afraid to approach the water. Together with Frodo, they make their way closer to the coast. The boy has another panic attack, but Sam calms him down and gives him a kitten. Sam puts his plan into action and escapes. On the way, the girl starts hitting cars, making as much noise as possible. The alarms attract the attention of the monsters. Taking advantage of the fact that the aliens are busy, Eric and the cat run to the river. They accidentally hit an aluminum can, attracting several aliens. However, at the last moment, he manages to jump into the water. He casts one last glance at Sam, who is happy for the cat. Eric swims to the boat and is rescued by Henry from the theater, who has escaped with his family and cuddles the wet cat. The boy finds a note in his pocket from Sam thanking him for what he did for her in the last days of her life and asking him to look after Frodo. Sam returns to the burned-out pizzeria and looks at an old photograph of her and her father in front of the place. She then goes outside and takes out her headphones from her player. As soon as the music starts playing, an alien appears behind the girl. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.